May it please the court? I know I did something bad. Or rather, the defendant knew she did something bad, but now she wants to lie about it. The defendant is a doer, a person who takes charge and gets things done, a senator and a military commander, for God's sakes. When Carol Mitchell buried the defendant's father's ashes, knowing the defendant couldn't attend, a line was drawn in the sand. The defendant did not communicate with Carol Mitchell from that date forward. On the evening of April 21st, the defendant couldn't sleep, and she was ready to take action. She wanted to take back whatever was left of her father's possessions. Getting these items back became her mission. Sometime around midnight, the defendant planned, packed, and dressed for her mission. She put on her best black ninja suit, threw in her pry bar, her muted flashlight, and even her special pair of flashlight gloves. She drove 220 miles to Detroit Lakes. Not even her own moral compass could deter her from her mission. Mr. Ringstrom summarized the issue for you to start this case. The defendant either entered to steal something, or the defendant entered to check on Carol Mitchell. The three things I asked you at the start of this case will lead you to the truth. Trust your eyes and ears. Do not get distracted. Use your common sense and good judgment. If you do these three things, you can be confident in a decision to convict the defendant. Now, during her testimony, the defendant admitted she said things to, quote, save her own skin. She also testified that sometimes you have to lie to protect people. And yesterday, you saw a fine example of that. Her testimony yesterday was carefully crafted to protect the one person that she cares the most about in this case, herself. Now, there is no doubt this began as a tragic family situation. Rod Mitchell's sudden passing was shocking and an ignition point to an already delicate relationship between the defendant and Carol Mitchell. Sadly, Carol Mitchell's Alzheimer's either slowed or hindered the turning over of Rod Mitchell's priceless mementos that the defendant wanted. However, disputes are settled in court now with crowbars, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Carol Mitchell is not on trial here. The defendant and the defendant alone is on trial. And now is the time for you to decide the facts. And as tragic as this family situation has played out and how the defendant has handled it horribly, remember that you are not to be influenced by sympathy for her when you make your decision. I'd like to take a moment and walk through the elements and show you how the state has satisfied its burden to each count. Count 1, burglary, the first element. The defendant entered or remained in a building without consent. The defendant admitted that on the stand. She said, I didn't have consent. You can also consider her mode and manner of entry, the early time of the morning. Second element, the building was a dwelling. It's not in dispute here. It's been proven it was Carol Mitchell's residence, 709 Granger Road. Third, another person, not an accomplice, was present in the dwelling. You've seen a plethora of body cam footage. You know Carol Mitchell was inside the residence that morning. The defendant admitted that element as well. The fourth element, the defendant entered or remained in the building, dwelling with intent to commit the crime of theft. It's the meat and potatoes of the case. Circle back to it. The last element, that this occurred on April 22nd, 2024. Admitted by the defendant, all sorts of evidence to that effect. Count 2, burglary tools. The defendant had in her possession a device or other instrumentality. You heard her testimony yesterday. She packed up that pry bar before she left Woodbury. Told you how she used it to pry open the egress window. Again, the second element, the defendant had the intent to use the device, the meat and the potatoes of the case. Circle back to it. And again, April 22nd, 2024. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you about the many lies of Nicole Mitchell. You've all had to deal with people lying to you in your life. In order to catch people in lies, you have to focus on the little details. And when you do that, their stories begin to crumble. First, her overall claim of love and concern for Carol Mitchell. Enduring love and concern. Her aunts, the people that she trusted the most, how did they characterize this relationship? Well, Nancy Lund said they never had a stellar relationship. Cindy Markey said they never got along from day one. Two strong-willed women. It's your reason and common sense tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Second, the medical data. The defendant hacked into Carol Mitchell's My Sanford chart on the evening of April 20th. Never mind the fact that she was not authorized to view Carol Mitchell's private medical data, but whatever she saw was so concerning, so disturbing, that she waited over 24 hours to pack up her quote, welfare kit, and she told nobody. Third, the defense has repeatedly classified this as a welfare check. Now, you've seen all the evidence, the time of night, the outfit, the tools. What does your reason and common sense tell you? Again, she was so concerned for Carol Mitchell that early morning, she did not call or inform anybody. Did not call law enforcement, did not ask for a welfare check. And remember, she had not communicated with Carol Mitchell since that fight on or about March 15th. And their last text exchange was a nasty one. Fourth, defendant testified that the neighbors knew her so well, she had to park on that side street. She couldn't risk being spotted. Didn't want them to notice her. Cross-examination, forgot their names. Don't know them. Fifth, flashlight gloves. Something probably never seen before in your life. Now, the defendant never really offered an explanation why those were in her welfare check toolkit. She just merely said they were bought for camping. Oops. Forgot to explain that one. 6, why latex gloves were packed with her. She testified that she wasn't sure what she would find. Implied maybe that she was worried about cleaning up feces. Does that make any sense? Did she pack any bleach, any paper towels? The defendant over-explaining things is a classic example of her lies. 7, her explanation of why she had to use the basement window. She testified, I had a key. I looked through the window and I saw the door jamb device. But yet, she told you she packed that pry bar before she left Woodbury. Who packs a freaking pry bar? Just in case. Reason, common sense. 8, the defendant testified that she, quote, has a key for this house. There's no key that's been offered into evidence. The only proof of defendant having a key is her testimony. This is convenient testimony by an admitted liar, ladies and gentlemen. Do not buy it. 9. Flashlight had a sock on it. It was my child's. Continue to over-explain. You can check. I think his name is on it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can check when you deliberate. You can examine that flashlight. I couldn't find a name, but if you can. 10. Defendant claims she was never lying next to Carol Mitchell's bed. Ms. Schotterhoff, can I have... I'd like to replay the 911 audio for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody just broke into my house. Ran down into my basement.
What's your address?
I forgot. 709 Granger Avenue.
Granger Road in DL?
Granger Road. Yeah.
Becker, 30 car for Activeburg, Granger. 37, party states individual broke into their house and ran down in their basement, 709 Granger Road.
I don't know if he's breaking out the back window or what.
Did you get a look at him at all?
No, it was completely dark. I tripped over him. He was on the floor next to my bed. He ran downstairs into my basement.
Okay. Can you hear him breaking out the window in the basement?
I did not hear anything right now.
Okay. What, did it sound like he was breaking something?
I don't know. Maybe the window's already open down there. There's a basement, a drop window that can crank open. I don't know. It's just here.
Alright, I'll stay on the line with you. Don't worry. I have officers en route right now. If you hear anything, just let me know what's going on, okay? Are you armed?
I have a little steak knife in my hand right now.
Steak knife? Okay. Alright.
I don't know where they could have. I don't see any, my yard lights haven't come on outside or anything, you know, the motion light in the back or anything.
Did you notice any vehicles or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
So it sounded like this individual broke in. RP got up and almost tripped over whoever's lying down inside the house before they ran into the basement. 37 copies. Okay, am I speaking with Carol?
Yes. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh my God.
Did you hear anything at all?
No.
What Becker, is there any exits in the basement? There's a drop window. She doesn't know if he got it open yet or not.
On the back side of the house, yeah.
What's that?
On the back side of the house, yes.
Okay.
I just turned a small light on in my backyard and I'm trying to look out over that window and...
Did you hear or see any vehicles drive away?
No, I haven't. I just heard something and I went downstairs now.
Female police, she's
Okay.
sent for. She believes she heard something else in the basement.
Is that police?
There's officers that just came outside your residence, yeah. You just came in, I think.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. There's a shop window in the back side of the house, and I don't know if that's how he ran down there.
Okay, I'll go down there. You stay back here. All right, Carol. You can.
Should I hang up?
Yep, you can hang up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, a few days later, Chief Todd returned to Carol Mitchell's home.
In there, but it was just leaves and dirt. So,
While we're up here, could you show us your bedroom and where the person was that you stepped on?
yeah. It's down here. And I sleep right here. She was laying right here with her head.
Let me get up here with my body camera so you can describe it. Okay?
Okay, I sleep here.
Yep.
And she was laying right here. Her head was at that end and her feet at this end.
Okay. Is there anything that you keep?
3 drawers under there, but there's...
what do you keep in those drawers?
Socks, underwear.
Okay.
You know, I checked to see if there was any. This is just an empty box. I was checking to make sure that it's just, you know.
Okay, just...
But I did keep, for a long time, I kept my pistol.
Okay.
Here. And I'm sure.
So what you leaned up, you stepped out of bed, and you actually.
Something woke me, and I sleep with earplugs.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't figure out what it was that woke me.
Yep.
If it was a loud sound, or if what. So I just. What was that? And I stepped on, and I stepped on a body, and it moved.
Yeah.
And I went, what the hell? And I jumped on like this and grabbed, because I thought it was like a little kid or something.
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't think it. And then when it was bigger, well, at first I thought, a man had broken, but it was too small for a big man. So then I thought it was a little boy or some teenager got in or something. And then she shot out, ran out down the hall through the kitchen and down into the basement.
Okay. 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 I'll follow you, ma'am. Thank you.
Basement?
So, and you definitely saw this person hang a ladder and go down?
I was right behind her. And I still thought it was a boy. I never, until you guys told me it was Nicole, I didn't know.
Carol Mitchell might be battling Alzheimer's, but this event will be something forever etched in her mind. She told the 911 dispatcher she stepped on a body. She told it again to Chief Todd. Again, it's the little things that prove lies. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the testimony yesterday that she lied to the officers 4 times because she didn't want to upset Carol. Yet, we've heard from 2 defense witnesses, Nancy Lund, honest, trustworthy. Jay Brody talked about her raving reviews as a commander, her honesty, trustworthy. Then we look at the context of the defendant's testimony yesterday. She said she was very stressed out, never had a gun pointed at me before. Yet she wants you to believe that she was capable of this quick lie, this plan, because she didn't want to upset Carol Mitchell. I encourage you to review the defendant's demeanor on the body camera footage. I submit to you she was telling the truth on April 22nd, 2024. And if you believe that she was telling the truth to the officers, then you know she had the intent to steal. Because she told you. She told the officers. Again, maintain, number 12, she maintained that the lies to the police were so she didn't upset Carol Mitchell. But yet you look at her statements, many of them are after she separated from Carol Mitchell. Back of the squad and at the jail. Then, ladies and gentlemen, number 13, we turn to the defendant's elaborate story of what she did in the house. Remember all the things she checked on, the important kitty litter box and deep freeze inspections that justified this home break-in? We're going to play Officer Wolthy's body cam for you at about the 21:35 mark.
What's your name?
Nicole.
Are those laptops in your backpack yours?
Yes?
Okay. She's saying she's missing 2 laptops.
I can show you one. It's got my kid's Minecraft game on it.
Okay. What's the other one for?
I have one for work.
Okay. And then she's saying something about $10. That was a question. It was in question last time. So.
I literally had just got in the house. I hadn't had time to do anything.
Okay. Alrighty.
I'm clearly not good at this, but...
Yeah? So, sounds good.
Again, she...
Hadn't had time to do anything. Again, another classic over-explanation. Item 14, regarding the checklist in her backpack. She testified that delete texts and contacts actually means that she wants to make sure Carol didn't delete people from her phone. That's her checklist, her shorthand. Another over-explanation. What does your reason and common sense tell you? I'd like to circle back to the most important issue here, the defendant's claim that she was lying to the officers on April 22nd. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, she's had 15 months to think about this and prepare for her testimony yesterday, to craft her story around the evidence. Officer Sternhagen is a highly trained officer, and I submit to you he would have noted deception by the defendant. Defendant's spontaneous and truthful statements to law enforcement on April 22nd, 2024 are extremely damning to her. So yesterday she had to come up with a story. What the defendant said in those tense moments after being detained by the police is the truth. Period. She said she was there to take items, and that readily proves her intent to commit a theft. I ask that you find her guilty. Thank you.